Here are the most dangerous women wanted by the FBI. Number 10. Marietta Terabelian. Marietta Terabelian comes with a $20,000 reward for anyone with information leading to her arrest. She and her husband are charged with trying to obtain millions of dollars in fraudulent loans through the COVID-19 PPP program. Maria worked together with her husband Richard and his brother Arthur. The trio was found guilty of many charges, including wire fraud, conspiracy, and identity theft. They were ordered to forfeit every penny they had to their name, amounting to $450,000 in cash. They were also forced to turn over jewelry, gold watches, and property acquired with stolen money. All three obtained a whopping $18 million through the COVID relief program. All three were found stone cold guilty and faced multiple decades in prison. Marietta was on pretrial release when the weight of spending the next 20 years in prison became too much. She cut off her ankle bracelet and hit the road. Warrants have been issued for her arrest, but Marietta has been on the run since August of 2021. Number 9. Adrianna Melendez. Adrianna Melendez from California attracts a $10,000 reward for anyone with information leading to her arrest. Adrianna is wanted for her alleged involvement in an accident that led to the demise of a 72-year-old bicyclist named Dan Taylor. The accident happened on a California afternoon on March of 2014. Adrianna, who was driving her car, hit Taylor head-on, causing fatal injuries that eventually led to his death. When law enforcement officers arrived on the scene, Adrianna was nowhere in sight. She had already fled. Police identified Adrianna as the driver, and a warrant was issued for her arrest. The warrant charged Adrianna with vehicular homicide in addition to hit and run. In April of 2017, a federal warrant was issued after being charged with an unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. Number 8. Ashely Cynthia Montalvo. Ashely Cynthia Montalvo and her common-law husband Ulises Omar Felix are believed to have fled to Arizona or Mexico with their 2 boys. Ashely was arrested in September 2011 following numerous charges including the aggravated robbery of a controlled substance, first-degree burglary, theft, false imprisonment, and use of stun guns. Ashely's charges amounted to her role in assisting her husband in a violent home invasion robbery in Colorado. She was released a few months later in May 2012 after pleading guilty to robbery and was sentenced to time served in jail. Upon her release, Ashely was slapped with 3-year probation, a fair sentence considering the magnitude of her crimes. But the mother of 2 couldn't abide by the law. She violated her probation and is believed to have fled to Arizona or Mexico with her 2 sons. Number 7. ORIT TUIL. In July 2010, a federal arrest warrant was issued for then 39-year-old real estate broker ORIT TUIL. The former resident of Forest Hills is wanted in connection to a large-scale mortgage fraud scheme. Authorities believe ORIT is hiding out in her native Israel. According to the FBI, ORIT allegedly tricked people who were in foreclosure into transferring the deeds of their houses to her. She then proceeded to obtain mortgages and sell the properties to straw buyers who portrayed themselves as legitimate purchases, but in reality colluded with her to defraud their victims. ORIT and her associates attempted to obtain more than $1.6 million in mortgage loans on 3 properties spread across Brooklyn and Queens. She was charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud, a charge coming with a 30-year sentence. In June 2010, the FBI's Department of Mortgage Fraud Task Force executed search warrants and made more than a dozen arrests on a mission dubbed Operation Stolen Dreams. A total of 38 suspects were arrested and charged in 8 separate cases. The scam, spearheaded by ORIT, collectively defrauded lenders over $29 million in home mortgage loans, in addition to victimizing hundreds of homeowners. Number 6. JOSEPHINE Sunshine OVERAKER. There's currently a $50,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of JOSEPHINE Sunshine OVERAKER, also known as OSHA, Joe, China, Josie, and more. In January 2006, a federal grand jury in Eugene, Oregon, indicted Josephine on multiple charges related to her role in a domestic terrorism cell. The Canadian was charged with 2 conspiracy violations related to 17 incidents, including arson, attempted arson, and the destruction of an energy facility. She and her arson gang burnt down a ski resort in Colorado, causing $26 million in damages. All alleged crimes were committed in Oregon, Washington, Colorado, Wyoming, and California, dating back to 1996. Josephine, along with 20 other members of the terrorist cell, called themselves the Family. However, they operated as the Earth Liberation Front, ELF, and the Animal Liberation Front, or ALF. They caused over $45 million in damages between 1995 and 2001. If you are up for an additional $50K, the FBI said that Josephine has a distinctive tattoo along her neck, an image of a bird running from her right upper arm across her back. That's not the only ink work she has. The former firefighter has another unknown tattoo on her upper left arm and scars on her ankles, right calf, and right thigh. Number 5. ALICIA LEONOR BANUELOS. Our next suspect is what you'd call a nutcase. ALICIA LEONOR BANUELOS was charged back in 1997 with the death of her newborn infant. She came home from work and delivered the baby over the toilet, where she ultimately left it. ALICIA's case was in and out of court for 2 years, and in 1999, she finally had enough. 2 days before her trial was set to begin, ALICIA abducted her other 4-year-old child, Lyric Garcia. The two were on a supervised trip to a Chicago shopping mall when they disappeared. Soon after disappearing into thin air, the fugitive called a former boyfriend from Zacatecas, Mexico. She was charged with murder and child abduction. ALICIA had a troubled life from the onset. During her first arrest, she told police that she suspected she was pregnant, but was in denial because her then-husband Raul Garcia had left her a few months earlier. ALICIA's status on the FBI's most wanted list is because of the cruelty of the crime she committed. Number 4. Catherine Marie KERKOW. Our next fugitive committed her crimes almost 5 decades ago, and she is yet to be found. Meet Catherine Marie KERKOW, a woman wanted by the FBI for her alleged involvement in the hijacking of Western Airlines flight, which was set to fly from Los Angeles to Seattle on June 3, 1972. Born in 1951, Catherine speaks English and French, and reliable intel indicates she may have ties to Oregon, Switzerland, France, Jordan, Cuba, and Algeria. As a member of the Black Panthers, Catherine and an accomplice boarded Western Airlines Flight 701. They claimed they had a bomb in a suitcase and demanded $500,000. After releasing 97 passengers from the plane in San Francisco, Catherine and her accomplice flew to Algeria, where both were granted political asylum. On June 5, 1972, a federal arrest warrant was issued against her by the United District Court, Eastern District of New York. She was charged with air piracy. A few years after the incident, in January 1975, the two wanted criminals were arrested while illegally entering France with fake passports. Catherine's accomplice was extradited to the United States. Catherine disappeared into thin air. Number 3. EVELYN GUZMAN. Anyone lucky enough to spot EVELYN GUZMAN and report her to the FBI will automatically become $10,000 richer, provided the info leads to her arrest. Guzman is wanted in connection to drug trafficking. Between April and December of 2004, several law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, conducted thorough investigations targeting illegal drug trafficking and money laundering enterprises that boomed in the Chicago area. Up to 23 individuals were combed out and charged, but a few of them swerved the wrath of the law, one being Guzman. In October of 2006, an Illinois district court issued an arrest warrant for Guzman after being charged for conspiring to distribute a controlled substance and aiding and abetting. Number 2. Julianne BALDUEZA DIMITRION. Massachusetts-born Julianna BALDUEZA DIMITRION is another woman on the run. The FBI is offering a $10,000 reward for any information that may lead to her arrest. So, what's Julianne wanted for? Julianne and her husband, John Dimitrion, have been on the run since 2009 after the couple was indicted for mortgage fraud. In April 2009, the couple pleaded guilty to operating a fraud scheme in Hawaii where they targeted struggling homeowners, convincing them to sell their homes and promising to improve their financial problems. The Dimitrions said the sellers could still live in their homes. Sadly, when new owners came knocking, the sellers knew they'd been scammed. Instead of investing the proceeds as promised, the Dimitrions used the money to fund their lavish lifestyles. According to the FBI, Julianne possesses an appetite for expensive clothing, specifically high-end lingerie and designer everything, including shoes and purses. As a result of the couple's calculated commonship, multiple families in Oahu in Hawaii lost their homes. The couple was scheduled to be sentenced in July 2010 in Honolulu, but both failed to appear at the sentencing. They fled Hawaii with the rumored help of an anti-government group called the Republic of the United States of America. Both are wanted by the FBI and have been on the run since 2010. Number 1. Maria Belen Francesconi. Maria Belen Francesconi is an Argentinian from Miami, Florida. She's wanted for the kidnapping of her son, Michael Alexander Reyes, who's more commonly referred to as Alex. On August 31st, 2008, just a few months after Alex was born, Maria traveled to Argentina with her new bundle of joy to visit her family. Alex's father, Miguel Reyes, okayed the visit on the condition that Maria return to the United States as soon as the trip was over. But Maria had other plans. She had no intentions of returning to the United States. She cut all communications with Alex's father, leaving the new dad in limbo. She claims that a series of emails from Reyes gave the impression that he wanted them to leave. According to Maria, Reyes said in an email, "Be happy with our son in Argentina." Reyes reported the matter to authorities, and with the help of Interpol, Alex was confirmed to be in Argentina. In November 2009, a civil court in the United States ordered that Alex be returned to his father. A year later, in December, the Supreme Court of Argentina upheld the same decision and ordered Maria to return Alex to the U.S. Maria ignored those orders, and Alex remained with her somewhere in Argentina. In March of 2012, a Florida family court delivered a final verdict, finding Alex to be Reyes' biological son and proceeding to grant Reyes both physical and legal custody of the boy. A year or so later, in June of 2013, Maria was indicted for international parental kidnapping by the federal grand jury of the United States. That very day, a federal warrant was issued for her arrest and subsequent sentencing. Amid all these dramas, Alex is healthy and says he loves life in Argentina. He doesn't want to leave. Maria knows she is sitting on a time bomb and that sooner or later the FBI will find her. And she will spend the rest of her life in jail, away from the same person she thinks she's protecting. Click here to watch one of these next videos.